Hi there, in this video I'm going to show you how to create filters and shared benefits. So one of the first things that you should do when you create a new organization, Cenefits, is to populate it with some filters which you can use to filter contracts and benefits when you're downloading them or otherwise, as well as shared benefits which represent the framework or menu or KPIs that you've determined things that you want suppliers to provide for your community benefits or social value. So first of all, there are four types of substandard filter that you can create. Contract categories. Essentially, for each of these, you just type in a name and create it, and then it's there in a sort of flat structure. Contract categories, benefit categories, departments, which are departments within your organization or alios or other sort of entities, and location, which is a geographical place name or postcode that you want to be able to find contracts and benefits by. You can also create what's called a portfolio filter if you want to, optionally, and that's essentially a nested filter which can be applied to contracts to represent a kind of structure in your organization. So by default we have three layers to this. We have the program layer, main project layer, and the sub-project layer. And for each item that there is on each layer, there can be a number of items below that particular item. That's sort of like a tree structure, a nested structure. That's how that works. So if we click on one here, we click on this one, we see that there's one item here below it, whereas if we click on this one, we see there's a different item. There could be a number of items here. Similarly, if I click on this item, I have one or more items here, whereas if there was another item in the middle here, I can click on that, I'd have more items below that. To add a filter to any level, you essentially just click the plus icon at that level and just type in the name of the item of the filter for that level. So these are obviously just generic names. You'd probably have actual names that meant something for your program, main project, and sub projects. But just to show you how that works, I've filled these in. So as well as creating your filters, we have what's called shared benefits. So in Cenefits there are two types of benefits. There's shared benefits and there's specific benefits. So as I briefly mentioned earlier, shared benefits is sort of the common benefits, the common things that you want suppliers to typically pick from when they're bidding for a contract. Some people call that a menu or a framework or a list of KPIs. But we call those things shared benefits, and shared benefits have two parts to them. They have a parent part, which has some common information that allows it to be discovered and reported on, and to simplify, entering information multiple times in multiple contracts, and that comprises of an outcome or a title, a description, a paragraph or so describing what that shared benefit should entail. A benefit category, which you defined in your filters a moment ago, and also an outcome inventory and an outcome priority. So this outcome inventory is worth mentioning. So let's say you had a requirement to have a maximum number of work placements in a year of maybe 100, let's say. You could enter an outcome inventory here for a particular shared benefit, and when that's selected and used in contracts, you enter a quantity at that point. And if you've entered an amount which takes you over the limit of the outcome inventory that's been defined, then you'll get a warning message prompting you to make a change if you need to. So it's a way to effectively limit having too many of one kind of benefit. A little warning for you. Outcome priority is not really used at the moment, but maybe in future, and that's just to give an indication about how important some items in your framework or your menu are than others. So that's the sort of the share benefit parent, if you will. When you create a benefit, which I'll show you in another video, you can select the share benefit parent, which pre-populates all the values from that, select the contract, and then fill in the rest of the information that makes that share benefit unique to that contract. The other type of benefit that we have, which again I'll go into in a future video, are specific benefits, and those are essentially a combination of the two parts of shared benefits, the parent and the children, in one form. And the reason you use those is if a supplier, or if you came up with a really cool idea for a contract which was just really unique to that contract. It's not something that would be in your typical menu or framework. And so you create it as a one-off thing within that contract, and you may have a number of those in one contract if someone's being particularly innovative, or you are. So that's creating filters for use within your contracts and benefits, creating a portfolio filter which can be used within your contracts to represent your organizational structure if you want to, and creating shared benefits, the sort of parent shared benefits, which can be used to create to select shared benefits within contracts and represent your menu, your framework, your KPIs. Thank you.